Back from the dead.
Did it just get hot in here or what? Man, I'm burning. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Soul Hunters Heroes Rankings. This is part 4. I'm bringing you guys another 9 or 10 awesome heroes that I'm going to rank for you. I'm going to let you guys know if these heroes are worth promoting, worth putting your resources on, because I know promoting a hero all the way up to 90 in orange takes a lot of time and resources. So if they're not really that good, then it might not be worth promoting. All right, so stay tuned and I'll give you guys my advice on which heroes you guys should work on. All right guys, now so before we begin, as always, you guys know how my rankings work. I'm gonna rank them from S to F, but most likely I'm not gonna give anybody an F because I hated getting F's in school, so I'm not gonna do it to anybody here. All right, the worst I'm gonna give them is a D for these nuts because they're useless, but we're gonna see what heroes I'm gonna rank today. All right, S is for superior, A above average, B below average, C you could use them. All right, D, like I said before, don't do it. All right, now let's move on with the first hero that I'm gonna start off today, and this guy has a master's in disasters. He's got a diploma from the University of Soul Hunting. It is Dr. Zeno. The great Dr. Zeno. Dr. Zeno, a very intriguing hero, guys. He's the weird thing about him is that he's a mixed attacker, right? He's a straight up DPS hero, so let's get that straight. All right, he's a DPS, meaning he does damage, but he rotates between doing magic and physical damage, so he could be used for both magic and attack, physical. Now his fourth ability is a really cool ability because it'll increase your allies' magic armor, which is really good going against magic teams, obviously. All right, and his ultimate is also a really cool ability because it will increase his physical and his magic attack, and he just does a series of straight up attacks, which is awesome, and it doesn't stop. Now I've seen him be really good in one of the Hall of Legend bosses, right? Obviously with his attack. But other than that, you don't really see him run much in arena or anything like that, all right? So it kind of caps him off at that. I haven't upgraded mine all the way, but I'm definitely working on it, all right? I have a battle here with him, and as you can see, he doesn't, the weird thing is, he doesn't really do any of support or anything like that. He does a lot of DPS. Once he finally gets his ultimate, until he gets his ultimate, the only good thing that he does is he shoots out a ball that will kind of stop everybody from moving. But once he gets his ultimate, that's when, you know, things start happening for him. All right, he starts shooting a series of attacks, not as good as Gizmo, but it's similar to Gizmo, and he does some good damage. Right now, the tricky thing is with Dr. Zeno, if you need a midline DPS hero, there's some others that I would recommend instead of him, but for now he's not that bad. All right, so I'm gonna give Dr. Zeno a B-no. I'm gonna give him a B because I feel like he's below average right now. Maybe when they awaken him, he'll be a little bit better, but for me right now, he's a B, just because I don't really use him in Crucible. I don't use him in the arena. The raids, I don't use him. And you could possibly use him in the Hall of Legend for one of the bosses, but is he worth, you know, promoting and putting all that time and resources into just for one Hall of Legend boss? I'm not sure about that. All right, so for me, he's a B. On to the next one. All right, so next up we have the Death Seer Lucius. This guy is very interesting hero, and I do like him a lot. All right, the good thing that I like about this guy is because he's got a lot of tricky things up his sleeve. He's a complete support hero. Let me say that. He's not going to deal any damage, all right, guys? So don't go putting him in there with a bunch of other supports. His best thing about him is his ultimate is going to revive, bring back a skeleton. So if he gets his ultimate off, he's kind of summoning another hero to the battlefield, all right? So that's more targets for your enemy, more attackers, right? His fourth ability, it's going to increase magic armor of all your allies, all right? So it's kind of similar to Dr. Zeno. He's another magic armor increase hero. Another good thing that he does is he gives energy boost to your heroes, all right? So he'll give your hero a boost, and then his second ability is going to give your heroes a shield, all right, which soaks up a lot of damage. So he's completely support hero. I love using this guy against opposite magic teams, all right? Another thing that I kind of like using with with Lucius here is it's kind of cool to use him with Thalin and Dokras, all right? Because if you really think about it, Thalin and Dokras summon some wolves and some wolverines, and some porcupines there. And if Lucius gets his ultimate off, that's another, what is it, skeleton that he summons. So that's another 5 heroes at the same time in the battlefield, potentially. It doesn't really happen, but it could potentially happen, right? But normally I love to run Lucius in an opposite magic team, all right? So another magic defender here. If I had to rate Lucius, I think I would give Lucius an A. Alright, when it comes to support, now you gotta understand, I'm not judging him on DPS heroes, right? So you can't go judging him on another DPS hero. I'm judging him on supports, right? He's one of the best supports in the game, and that's why he gets an A, because he's not bad to upgrade if your team is lacking a bit of support. You can't really use him in the Crucible of Fire or the Holo Legend or the raids, alright? He's mostly a counter to your opponent's kind of magic teams in the arena. So he's mostly for the arena, just for countering other teams, alright? So I'll give him an A for above average support hero, alright? Let's move on. Okay, so next up we have the Moon Priestess, Celine Dion. No, not Celine Dion, but Celine is her name, and she's pretty awesome. I kind of like Celine. I kind of see her a lot like Osiris, alright? So her and Osiris to me are very similar. They both have a boost in magic. Although Celine's magic is not a boost to the whole team, it's more a reduction to the opponent's team. It's kind of the same thing. Alright, her ultimate does a serious ton of damage. You know, she'll use her Celestial Ray, does some damage. She does have some nice AoE damage as well. Alright, and pretty much that is it. She's a DPS, midline DPS hero. So like I said before, I very closely judge her by Osiris, and I like Osiris as well because Osiris has silence. So that's why I like Osiris a little bit more than Celine. But she's just as good, okay? So I'm gonna rate her the same that I did with Osiris. I'm gonna give Celine an A, all right? Because like I said, she's good to use when you are it actually doesn't really matter because she's gonna decrease your opponent's magic defense, all right? So you put her on a strong defensive, strong magic offensive team, she's gonna come in handy, and she's gonna support, you know, the rest of your team. So she's DPS with some support. So I'm gonna give Celine Dion an A, and hopefully she can sing a solo for me. Let's move on to my boy Earthstack. Earthstack, the weird thing about Earthstack is when I first started off, this guy was the man. At early levels, Earthstack, you get him at 3 stars, right? And he's so powerful. He dishes out a ton of damage from the back line. There's not many heroes that can defend that kind of power early on. But when you get to the late stages in the game, level 90, he falls off a lot. The reason for that is because he is a one-trick pony, meaning all he does is straight out physical attack. He's very easily countered by a tank like a Leon or a Torsen, right? That's the only tricky thing about Earthstack. You can't really use Earthstack in Crucible of Fire. I know some people do use them in the Hall of Legend though. So there's a possibility for the Hall of Legend for 1 or 2 of the bosses that you can use them in. Other than that, in Arena, maybe if you're facing a weak physical team, you could use them, but not many people run Earthstack like that. For right now, to me, Earthstack is a B because I feel like when it comes to backline DPS heroes, Slim is a way better DPS hero, physical DPS than him, alright? So I'd go with Slim way before Earthstack. So for me, I'm going to give Earthstack a B. Alright, next up we have Mariana, the unicorn riding angel looking creature thing. But now Mariana is an interesting hero in the because she is a great hero for the Crucible of Fire, guys. Alright, she does a lot of support for the Crucible of Fire. She gives you an increase in magic crit, alright, and she gives you a healing ability, right? She will heal your weakest ally over time, which helps out in the Crucible of Fire. And her purifying beam at the end, although it takes time to load, that's what I don't really like about it. It just takes so long to load. It does a ton of damage, you know, once you can get it off. In the Crucible of Fire, when you pretty much have your ultimates off ready every round, it does help out a lot. I don't run her in the Crucible of Fire. That's why I don't upgrade my Mariana. I want to say Marinara for some reason. Mariana, I don't upgrade her. But if you do run a nice magic team for your Crucible of Fire, like not like me, I run a physical team. If you do run a magic team, she's a great hero to work on and promote. All right, she'll help you a lot. Other than that, she doesn't really have much use in the arena as much. In certain situations you could, but not really. Hall of Legend, definitely not. Raids, no way. So just the Crucible of Fire, you can run her on a nice magic team to just get that done. All right, so other than that, her possibilities are not that great. I'm gonna rate her kind of the same as I do with Earthstack, even though I think I think Mariana is better than Earthstack. All right, so I'm gonna give her a B plus, better than Earthstack, but I'm gonna give her a B nonetheless. All right, because she's not an above average hero, which I recommend you upgrade right away. I haven't upgraded her, and I haven't missed out on anything. I don't think so. All right, so B plus for Mariana. Let's move on to one of my recently favorite heroes. It's the Kung Fu Master Panda, Gus. This guy, I love this guy. He rolls around kicking soccer, kicking rocks at people. He's got a cool design. And the great thing that I really like about him is this guy is a great counter to physical teams. All right, actually 3 of his attacks, they all lower your opponent's physical attacks. All right, which is really good. I love that about him. He's very hard to hit. He dodges a lot of attacks because he just jumps around the battlefield, and that's another good thing about him, is he's gonna last a while in the battle. Now the thing about him is he's a frontline hero, but he's not a tank. All right, don't ever use Gus as your main tank. Make sure you have a Leon or a Drago or somebody in front of him. All right, because he will die quickly. His health is not too high and his defenses are not that great. Where he does come in handy is as a support tank. You put him next to another tank, and then he's going to lower your opponent's physical attack, and then he's going to hop around a lot and deal some damage. So that's where I like him at. And all in all, I'm going to give Gus an A. I like Gus. I think he's very useful. You can use him in a lot of situations in battles. You can't really use him in Crucible of Fire or any other raids, but in Arena, he does come in handy when I face physical teams. All right, so Gus gets an A from me. All right, guys. Next up, we have Sumiko, the half snake enchantress. Sumiko is a very interesting hero because she's all support, just like Lucius. The only thing is she gives you a buff in physical attack and magic attack, which Lucius doesn't really do. She will increase your physical hit rating. She will give magic and physical boost. So 2 of her attacks of her 4 skills, 1 will give a physical boost, 1 will give a magic boost. So you know what that means? That means that you should always run her, not always, but mostly run her on a dual team, meaning half magic and half physical. This way you can get the most out of her, so one of her abilities doesn't just go to waste. That's where I like to run her as. I like to put her as a support with some magic and some physical attack. All right, now when it comes to grading Sumiko, I'm gonna give her the same as Lucius because support heroes in the game are not that common. So if you're gonna need a support, Sumiko is definitely one of the best. So she gets an A for above average support hero to me. All right, I'm not judging her on other DPS heroes. This is just support heroes. She gets an A, above average. I think she's better than Enrique, and I think she's better than Lucius as well, but it's kind of an even keel. All right, so Sumiko gets an A. Okay guys, so next up we have the Stone Colossal Crusher. This guy has been a bit disappointing to me. I thought he would be a lot better than what he really is, but he's been a big disappointment. I'm not sure why. His skills are actually really nice. It's supposed to reduce physical damage and magic damage in the rock solid one, and he's supposed to soak up a lot of attacks. But and also in his stats, he has a ton of HP. He's got a lot of HP. The only problem is his magic and physical armors are very low. They're lower than other tanks like Leon and Drago, so he can't really withstand many attacks. He dies very, very quickly. As you see in this battle, he just goes down like nothing. And also, if he's about to use his ultimate and he uses his ultimate, hops to the opposite side of the field, he still gets attacked in the middle of his ultimate, which I don't really like. I think it's a bad ultimate. All in all, I'm gonna have to give Crusher a B- because I don't really think he's a great tank, and you can definitely go with a better tank like Leon and Drago, which I recommend over Crusher. Right, so not one of the best tanks in the game yet. I hope that he gets an awesome awakening skill, but we'll have to wait for that and see. For right now, you'll just have to be patient with Crusher and I guess enchant somebody else in the meantime. Avoid Crusher for now. Okay everybody, so we finally made it to the end. The last hero that we're gonna rank today is gonna be the Sun Goddess Jasmine. I know what you guys are all thinking. Yes, she is everything that she is hyped up to be. She is incredible. I probably would have to say she's one of the top 5 heroes in the game, and as soon as you get the guild coins, definitely go for her first. All right, the reason why she's great is because she blinds your opponents for a while. It seems like she's blinding them the whole time. All physical attacks miss all the time. All right, the other great thing about her is her ultimate, Illuminate. Her ultimate serves 3 purposes. All right, not only does it deal damage, it heals all of your allies, and it'll also interrupt anybody that's using an ultimate. All right, the best place to use Jasmine is in Crucible of Fire and in the arena. So what more do you want? You can use her in the 2 best places in the game. All right, and I think she's a great hero for all situations in the arena, for defense and for offense. All right, so I don't really have to go any further into Jasmine. Go and upgrade her right away as soon as you get her. Right, I give Jasmine an S for superior hero. She's one of the top 5 heroes in the game. All right, so as soon as you can get her, upgrade her all the way. You're not going to be disappointed. All right, she's the reason why I even stayed alive in this battle here, as you guys can see, and she's the reason why you win many battles in the game. All right, so you won't be disappointed in Jasmine. Go for it. Alright everybody, so that puts an end to this episode of Hero Rankings. I hope you guys enjoy that. If you have those heroes, take my advice. If they get a bad grade, avoid them for now, alright? It doesn't mean don't level them up. You can level them up, but don't put the resources on them yet. If a hero got an A or an S, work on them. You're not going to regret it. Later on in the game, you're going to wish that you did, because I know I did. I messed up in a lot of these heroes, alright? So now, what you want to do is watch the previous 3 videos, alright, and take my advice on those. I just want to say really quickly though, those videos were made before awakening skills, alright? So Arachna, Mortis, you know, Vincent, Elric, whatever the grade is, you got to kind of add on to that because they've been awakened. Obviously Arachna now is amazing, and so is Mortis, so don't, you know, judge them on that. So I'll end it off here now, and till the next Hero Rankings, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. This is Worst Effing Gamer signing out. See you guys next time.